So, hi all. The first question is, why is the process of adjusting mortality rates important to understand public health threats? Um, in my opinion, the purpose of adjusting mortality rate is to minimize the confounding variables affect to the least, which will lead to a better result. A public health threat may be a threat only to a certain group of people in general, and studying the whole total population of two communities will not reflect the situation or the severity of the public health threats. For example, the mortality rates of malaria is so much higher in children than in the older age group of people. And as such, studying the death rate in two populations, with one has the older population than the other, will not correctly show the correlation or the influence of malaria on the two population study. Adjusting mortality rate based on age, gender, or ethnicity, for example, will provide a better understanding of how the disease is distributed in the population, and this also depends on what disease we're studying, what kind of population we're studying. Like, it depends on various factors in order to determine the confounding variables. In other words, adjusting mortality rates reveal the hidden facade of public health threat that would otherwise remain unexposed due to the bias of the compared populations. And the second question is, what role do confounding variables plays in the need to adjust morbidity rates? And give an example of a confounder and how it is used in adjusting mortality rates. So for this question, in my opinion, again, we have to find the definition of the confounding variables. And for me, confounding variables are the factor that would interfere with the result. That would interfere with the result in a way that the result will not appear it should be. For example, if we're studying about cardiovascular disease, a disease that appears at much higher rate in older people than in younger people. And if we compare two populations that do not have the same population in terms of age, that will create inaccuracy in the result. And if in this case the confounding variable is age, as the disease only appears most often in certain age group, adjusting mortality rate hence will reduce the effect of confounding variables and show better understanding and show better statistic for the disease. Based on the number of the people at that age in each community group, we can find the better proportion of the group who get cardiovascular diseases and compare one to another. This will help to show in which community have higher risk of having cardiovascular diseases, and from there we can determine how severe the public health threats affect that community. And overall, I think it's important to determine the confounders in advance before we proceed to study any subject of public health threats, in order to save time and in order to obtain better results. Once all the confounders are determined, the next step is to adjust the subject study accordingly, so that we can enhance the accuracy of the result, which will give us a better picture of how public health threat take its tolls on the community. Thank you for listening.